Okay, Johnny Dangerous, mastermind of the infamous Hollywood Bling ring.
A legend, man.
Allegedly. So tell me, Johnny, where are you from? Where did you grow up?
All over Los Angeles, everywhere from Compton to the Valley, Hawthorne, Inglewood, Culver City, uh, Northridge, Granada Hills. I mean, I've been all over Hollywood, downtown.
Why did you bounce around so much?
Um, Living in a car for multiple years, shelters, place to place. My mom, brothers and sisters.
So, how would you describe your family life?
Uh, Broken. I guess they call it a broken home.
So, you didn't grow up with both parents.
No, no. Didn't really meet my dad till I was about 10 years old.
Okay. Describe your childhood for me.
Um, on the outside, it probably looked like okay, but it was traumatizing. A lot of abuse. Stepdad was a L.A. County sheriff. Crazy amounts of abuse, like vivid recollections. Um, yeah, insane stuff. So pretty traumatizing.
All right. Did you finish high school?
Almost. I got GED.
Okay. Uh,
I did some college after. Yeah.
have you done any time in jail or in prison?
Yeah, I did just under 10 years altogether.
10 years.
Yeah, just slight under like nine and some change.
Did you end up doing any time for your role in the Bling ring?
Yeah, I did. I did a state prison term for 3 years and some change.
What was your experience like in prison?
Horrific, absolutely horrific. Like uh, soulless, disgusting shit. You couldn't even regular people couldn't even imagine. Like it's really the films even touch the surface of the brutalization of what really is going on.
Give me an example in like something you've seen.
I've seen guys get split from wig to wig. I've seen guys get cut open, stabbed, left dead bodies left under a bunk for over 24 hours before even someone knows that they're missing. I've, yeah, in prison, I've seen county jail. I've seen disgusting stuff. I've seen multiple sexual attacks, uh, jumpings by people's own people, setups by the police. Uh, yeah, I've seen almost all of it. I think. I mean, I'm surprised. Nothing really surprises me much anymore. I'm not really surprised about too much.
And the times that you did go to jail or go to prison, were you starting out in LA County? So basically, did you go to LA County jail?
For the Bling ring case, yes. For my other charge, it was I got caught out of state moving narcotics in a vehicle. I had narcotics in the vehicle. I was on the highway, and it was a federal transporting case.
Tell me more about that if you can.
I was young, kind of stupid. You don't know what you know now, type stuff. They figured I was a young white dude. I could get the package there, and they just set me up. And if I had knew better, I would have done better. Um, Situation was bogus. They didn't set it up right. They were the older people, so I took the fall. I've yet to see any of their real bitch asses. That's the funny part. They didn't do shit for me. Kept my mouth shut. Do what you're supposed to do. Took all that to the chin. So uh, I guess we all know what time that is.
So how did it happen? How did you end up getting caught? What led up to you getting this federal
Oh,
case?
on a highway, they was tracking cars. They knew California plates, major trafficking highway. You know, nothing I knew about that young. These guys were in a crash car. They were supposed to, if anything had happened, do something to make sure move on. You know what I mean? They just drove right by me.
So somebody was
Yes,
following you.
100% older dudes with, you know what I mean? Situation. I was young, man. I was like what, 18, 19. Yeah. Um, so anyway, they didn't do their jobs. Uh, I did my job, and I saw a mandatory minimum of 5 years for possession with intent to distribute.
And was this for what type of narcotics was
I
this?
had marijuana, cocaine. Yeah, I had marijuana and cocaine. The feds they do some weird ass shit where they charge you with one crime, but they add it all up. So like a pound of marijuana equals 1.5 grams of cocaine or some shit. And then they add that up and turn it all into cocaine weight and charge you with the cocaine charge because that's the worst of two evils type shit. Make sense? Like that's how they do that shit. Period. Like if you in the Fed, like you was in the Fed system, like you know, like they know that everybody who watching this know about the Fed system. They gonna know what I'm talking about. Yeah. If I had something worse, they'd have charged me with that and added it all up to that charge. Yeah, they got like a table for that shit. They don't fuck around.
And so with this charge, you did end up doing time in federal prison.
Right, right. Yeah, I did majority of my time in federal prison. Uh, that shit was bad. When I seen the state, the county, LA County, that shit takes the cake for just craziness and the way they want to take your soul away from you. You know, like some real degrading bullshit every day, all day.
And can you describe the conditions of LA County Jail?
Oh, bro, like disgusting. What do you mean? The smell in there, you can't even get the smell off you for days once you get out of there. Other motherfuckers gonna know what I'm talking about. It's just there's a smell to it. It's foul. The smell is way out. Just the smell alone. Minus the bullshit. Let me see your asshole every 30 minutes. You know what I mean? The way these fucking police talk to you, the disrespect, the stuff that they want to try to get away with. It's just dehumanizing.
I see you have a looks like a pretty decent scar on your forehead. Is that something that came from inside a prison or jail?
Oh no, man! Actually, I never got stabbed in prison. That's actually I got stabbed. I got stabbed. My crazy story. Crazy story. The hero, the villain, the prototype. Right. So my wife was wanted to fight and argue, and she was trying to jump out the car. So finally, I let her get out the car at the intersection of Western Olympic, where there's lights and there's cameras. And I'm fine. She'll call her mom. She'll get a ride. I'm done with this bullshit. She was drunk. And can I get some water, man? So she got out and took off. Next thing you know, I'm at the house. I'm chilling. I hadn't been drinking at all, so I was just like, "This is some bullshit. I'm not trying to do all this." Uh, I get a phone call. I hear, "Don't get your fucking hands off me. Don't touch me." Now, mind you, not something that she was really thinking that that's where prostitutes walk. So a young black girl wearing half of nothing is going to be viewed as a prostitute, no matter who or what she is. And I guess some bum she started mouthing off to him. She was getting dragged in the alley by the time I pulled up. I chased him down. He jumped out with a knife. It's pretty gnarly because I've been in a lot of fights. I'm known for fighting, and I was wondering how the fuck he had hit me so hard because he hit me first right here, and I couldn't figure out. I'm into like 3, 4 more hits, and I'm wondering how he hit me so hard until I realized, oh shit, he's stabbing me. and I had to change tactics for the fight, and I took him down, disarmed him, and then by then I couldn't see anymore. The blood had hit my eyes, so I was gorilla fisting this dude on top of him while I was had his hand pinned down, and cut my leg up, stabbed me in the arm, my neck, my back, my shoulder, the stomach. Um, I put him out. By then she pulled up in my car because I had pulled up in the car when he had dropped her and started running. So I went to the emergency room after that, and yeah, I was pretty fucked up. But
And what happened to the dude who stabbed you?
I don't know, man. I don't know if police picked him up. I have no idea. I don't know what comments or statements she made because I was pretty much in and out of consciousness. You know what I mean? That gave me a decent concussion, and stabbed in the head like that. Like you could feel in my skull where the knife could have penetrated. You know what I'm saying? So like I boxed, and like you have a lot of minor concussions, doing that, having all these head blows and stuff growing up. But I tell you that that shit made a lot of it catch up. Like now my memory is fucked up. My memory's fucked up. And just battle wounds and other shit, that shit take a toll on you. Yeah, that shit don't stop hurting like that if you really had a lot of damage. Still got bullets and shit in you, so
You said you got bullets in you.
yeah, I got like 3 bullets still in me. I mean, shot 5 times also.
All right. Is that anything you can talk about?
Man, it was a attempted robbery. I mean, that's really all I want to say. You know what I mean?
Attempted robbery on you?
Yeah.
Or you
Yeah, they tried to rob me. So,
tried to?
yeah, that's what I said.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
No, yes. Sorry, man. That was yeah. That was a wild.
No problem. So, when you were in prison for the Bling ring case, that was state prison?
Yeah.
And did people know that you were involved with that case?
Oh yeah, I was a celebrity. They was jumping on like some shit you see in a movie. Actually, it was kind of crazy when I first got to reception because there was a good handful of motherfuckers there that knew, and I mean essays, white boy, everybody was like, "Oh shit, fucking Johnny Dangerous is here. We've been reading about this motherfucker for months now." So and I kept my own in the county. I was doing everything I had to do. I knew I was going to go to prison, so. And I'd already done state time, I mean Fed time, which was different and way easier. Just the politics alone, and if you're in a decently lower level, it's cakewalk. You just got to stay away from fucking idiots, and it's cakewalk. It ain't shit, to be honest. Like it's terrible. Any kind of imprisonment is pretty foul. You should have crimes you gonna kill a motherfucker for, and you should have crimes that you're gonna either give somebody a job or rehabilitate them. You know what I mean? Those should be the 3 categories of how someone's getting punished. Either you dying, you know what I mean, or something on that level because it's that bad, or I mean that's just a little bit of a thought process on it.
No, I fully agree.
Yeah.
I believe there are.
Or you got this guy stealing for food or drugs. And if it's drugs, he's rehabilitation of a job. And if it's and I mean a job that he can support his family, whatever it is, social economic justice.
Right. And some crimes or some people who commit certain crimes can't be fixed. Right?
Yeah, some people, and those people deserve special places.
Right.
Yeah, in medication, I'm sure. Yeah, but I think in most situations, a little bit of education and a high enough paying job for comfortability would satisfy most people. This shit is not that. This American dream is some bullshit. I'm an '80s baby, right? They promised us baseball games and barbecues, right? Bad memories and broken promises. Real shit. What they promised us, you know what I mean? Y'all listen to what they promised us, right? The '90s babies even heard it. These other kids, I don't know what they on. I'll be around all kind of generations, so it's nutty.
And nowadays, what are you doing nowadays to support yourself? What do you do for work?
A little consulting with music and marijuana. You know, cannabis consulting. I know how to grow pretty well. I've been doing it for many years. I know what's what. I can smoke weed and tell you what it is and probably what they did wrong with it, or if I even would smoke it, because I'm gonna inspect it first.
And that's here in
Yeah,
California where it's
yeah,
legal.
yeah.
So
When I got
these
out of
are,
prison, I had dabbled when I was younger and fucked around. You know, I'm from here. This is what we do. We smoke weed since I was 11. Yeah, you know, it's not even. You know, this was normal shit for us. Maybe even younger. I hit the weed maybe even 10. I think I was 10. I think I was 11. Either way, I remember I was high as fuck. I went to Denny's. I ate 2 Grand Slam breakfasts. I was fucked up with some other badass kids I knew, and they fucking molest her uncle. You know what I'm saying? So
and their molester uncle.
yeah, yeah, like he was molesting them fools later. Come later to find out he never tried that shit with me, but yeah, yeah. You know, it's this is you know 25 years later, 30 years later. You know, it's 30 yeah, like 30 years later, bro. Come to find out, I think yeah, motherfuckers from the valley, you know who I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Certain whole section of the valley that know who I'm talking about if I start mentioning names. Yeah.
So without going into the full interview or full breakdown of the Bling Ring case in this interview, because today is more about just getting to meet Johnny Dangerous, getting to know who Johnny Dangerous is. But in the future, do you think you'd be willing to do an interview and give us your account of the Bling Ring and how everything took place from your point of
Yeah, yeah, I can definitely tell you my point of view. I know what happened, and I know the bullshit out there, and I know that the people that were seeking fame from the beginning, which is why they did everything they did. It's you know,
view? And because if I'm not mistaken, I was familiar with you through a Maxim magazine article.
right? I got
That
gangster in a month.
that's right.
Yep.
That's right. So that made me familiar with this specific case. I also know there was a couple of movies made
Vanity
about
Fair
the
did
Bling
a
Ring,
big ass thing too.
and I know one of the movies had a character that portrayed you, and the most recent movie did not. Is there a reason that the newest movie didn't have your character?
Which movie is that?
The Netflix
I didn't see a
series.
Netflix one. Oh, you mean it's not a movie? It's a documentary, right?
Correct.
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say they had characters in both the movies. One of them they called me Vin Savage, and they had me pulling up to the home, threatening his mom with a gun or some crazy shit because that never happened. But that's what happened in the Lifetime movie. Uh, the character's name was Vin Savage because they couldn't use my name, Johnny Dangerous, right? So they called the character Vin Savage. Then in the Bling Ring, the one Coppola did, which if she sees this, terrible. You should have came and talked to me. I could have helped you out. Big fan of your dad, not so much a fan of you for the bullshit anyway. um, yeah, they had me in that one too. I think like some musician played me, a musician. Um, but okay, back to the sorry man, I was smoking weed before this. Back you know, and I got a bad memory. But back to the um, documentary. They talked to me. They offered me some money to come down uh, and meet with them, and they wanted to spend their budget other places. They didn't think I was worth what I asked for, so we just didn't see eye to eye, and that's the only reason. They wanted to have they wanted to spend their money over there. I guess is the way I looked at it because of what they offered me. What I asked for wasn't really too much of a difference. Yeah.
Well, it's a very good story from what you've told me, and we should definitely hear this from your side and from your point of view. especially being that, if I'm not mistaken, you're one of the only people who actually did any jail time, and probably the only person who went to prison, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure. I think maybe one of the girls went to prison. Other than that, it was county time for the snitch and uh, the little model chick, and then no time for like two of them. And the Asian girl, I think, actually went to women's state. Yeah, I don't think she skipped. I think she skipped up, but she was solid. Rachel, you cool? We should grab lunch if you see this. Hit me up. You solid, my book. Good people.
All right, so you had started to talk about your stepdad a little bit, but it seemed like it might have been a little touchy for you. Is that anything that you can talk a little bit more about?
Yeah, it is a touchy subject. I was tortured by him most of my young life. Um, he beat me unconscious repeatedly. I woke up in bathtubs with like an inch of water on my toys from being beat unconscious. To looking in the mirror, like I mean, like 6 years old, 7 years old, with a mangled, bruised face, uh, psychological torture, in like a sick way. Like I couldn't even understand, like as a grown man, how someone could do that to a child. But like I mean, uh, ever since I was young, I got a fascination with firearms because of this. He uh, he took a Browning 9 millimeter and tied me up like a Vietnam vet, like hog tied me in the back. So your hands behind you, you can pull forward and pull your feet. He was a product of the whole Vietnam War bullshit. So he knew some ways to fuck with people. He, I'm a little kid, man. I'm probably about 8 years old this time. He took this semi-automatic pistol with a magazine, cleaned it, took it apart, named all the pieces, put it back together, put one bullet in the magazine, and then, after showing me how the firearm worked, uh, slid it back, but he doubled it and took the bullet out. But I was a little kid, I didn't know shit about that. And, would dry fire it on me, shit like that. Just crazy stuff. And psychological torture like that, like as a small child, is probably half the reason I got issues that I got now with dealing with people sometimes.
And if you don't mind, I gotta ask, where was your mom at when this stuff was going on? Was she aware that this stuff was going on?
She was. My mom's fucking broken, like just broken, like perpetual victim status from her family to today. You know what I mean? It was my birthday a couple of days ago. She didn't even call me. You know what I mean? So that's just her life. Told my aunt, who did call me, that she was busy.
So you don't really have a relationship with your mom?
I've tried a few times to be like, at least be a human. You birthed me, but every time, it's a handout situation, and how you can basically try to fuck me over in some kind of way. And if I don't do whatever you think it is that you want, then, wouldn't even answer the phone if I was on fire. So clearly, you know what I mean?
That's rough.
And yeah.
And you did say that you didn't meet your dad till you were about 10, is that right?
Yeah, I seen him one time earlier than that, but like it was weird because my stepbrother and my sister had been like that. My sister was like, "That's your dad," and we were at a if you know Southern California, it's Cuba's hot dogs. This particular location doesn't even exist anymore. I was probably about like 3 or 4, maybe between like 3 and 5. Right? I remember I'm very very I was very young, and I only remember this one part of being there. I remember the way the masonry is done, so I remember exactly where I was at. And they said that was my dad, so I went over there and I said, you know, my mom says, you're my dad. They said, you're my dad. And he was with my little brother Dale's mother, Lena, at the time. And she started, I think she was pregnant with this fool Dale, actually. So she started screaming, or maybe it was right before she got pregnant. She started screaming because he already got a bunch of kids running around. He had a lot of kids. My dad had a lot of kids. I'm the only one from my union. If that made more sense with the question you had earlier, like both my parents, I'm the only child from my union. So I got my mom's side. I got a bunch of halves and some steps, and you know, interesting stories about them. If you know, if they apply, I wouldn't give a shit. I don't really talk to most of them. I talk to some of my cousins I'm real tight with. Uh, you know, I try to be cool with a couple of them, but they do weird stuff, and then I'm really tight with, you know, the other ones. So thank God for that.
And so stepdad was a sheriff. What type of guy was your real dad?
My real dad was a slick dude, man. He was a drug addict, man. Because like he was, you know, a '60s baby, dog, '70s, you know what I mean? So like he grew up like that was what they did, you know what I mean? Biker dope, and he was a cowboy. He was like a cowboy pimp dude and a thief. He and a truck driver. He was wild, man. Yeah, me and my brother, like, you know, we joke around, talk about, you know, he's got X amount of kids that we know of, you know? Like, who knows where they're at? You know, I would be, yeah. I got a funny story about this chick I was messing with. Just, you know, the thought of her possibly being related to me, I couldn't even do it no more because her skin colors were just too close. Like, you know, it's too close to the gene pool, it looked like to me. It grossed me out, man, real shit, just because, you know, there's questionability about who I'm really related to around this motherfucker. Yeah. Uh, what about my pops? My pops was nuts, man. There's stories, and these are true stories. Him fighting like 9, 10 cops at a time, going to jail, uh, fighting black belt you know, guys that had black belts, and them not knowing how to stop him. He was nuts. Being shot, just like me, it's crazy. He had been shot, stabbed, drugged by trucks, like the fucking Terminator. A couple of his, you know, buddies who hear them talk. He died of overdose too. Crazy shit. You know, fucking died of a fentanyl overdose.
Your dad died of a
Yep.
fentanyl overdose.
He was on, you know, they always had him on heavy drugs. He was always able to get him to the doctor because of all the injuries and surgeries he had had. You know, that was part of his hustle. And, you know, that shit was too strong, man. He had a patch on, took his normal little issue, and bitch he was with jumped in the shower. In there for 20 minutes, she came out, he was dead.
And had you guys built a relationship?
Yeah, like, so, okay. Man, my bad. My memory's terrible, and I'm jumping from place to place. But when I met my dad, we became cool. I was about 10 years old when I really got to meet him. And I remember the first thing he told me, like, "Oh, I don't even know if you're my kid. I look just like this motherfucker." like my sister be tripping. You know, my uncle Michael, his little brother, cried at his funeral, telling me like, "Man, you look just like my big brother." All this shit. Yeah, I barely even know you, dude. And I've been around. You're an adult, bro. I was, you know. Come on, don't give me that story nowadays, you know. So even then, I'm cool with his daughter, though. I love her to death. You know what I'm saying? If you see this, I love you. You know that. She knows what time it is. She's great. Yeah, I got some real good time with her, my cousin. So she's awesome. She really, she knows I go for her. I hope she knows.
All right.
Uh,
So you mentioned that you did some time for some drug-related charges. Sounds like drugs were a part of your dad's life. How about you? Are drugs a part of your life?
I'm experimenting, but I'm not. I've never done like certain drugs. I guess like I've done. Well, I mean, I've done pretty much everything except smoke crack, uh, do heroin and crystal meth. I've never tried any of those three drugs. I mean, I've snorted cocaine and I've experimented with that, LSD, mushrooms, uh, other psychedelics, DMT, etc. You know what I mean? I've done quite a few different trips. Um, there's different rabbit holes to go down. Still, I know that too. Uh, that's just crazy though. That's just that's just nutty when you really have out of body experiences and you see the energy, the way things are connected.
And DMT, is it really what they say it is? I have no.
It's a disconnection, man. I believe, like from what I can tell you, my experience is like it allows your consciousness just to leave for a little while, but when it leaves, you're walking through different worlds, bro, and everything is connected. And when you're in these other worlds, you can hear other voices and other shit's going on. And then when you realize you're leaving, most people, they'll tell you this, like you get angry. And I remember that. I remember getting mad. I remember them just, because I've done it multiple times. I remember the first time they were like, you come back, you're okay, relax, dude. You're allowed to come back. Just chill. You just got to go back now because it's going to wear off, but you're good. And the realization of like, try to be better to other people. Because really, if they're on that ignorant ass shit, it's because they're ignorant. They don't know and they're not enlightened, and they probably should seek for that. Violence is man's nature. I'm very clear and calm and precise with violence. I've had to live a very violent life. The circumstances, like I said, I grew up in the streets, drugs. That's the only way you make money. You know what I mean? Unless you got some other shit going on. And my mom and parents they had that too fucked up. I wouldn't even, if you ask my adopted mom, she'll tell you she got me when I was like 16. She was like, you never even had a chance. So, and they're good people. They're real good people.
And how about now? No drugs in your life now?
No, I just smoke a little weed. I don't really drink because I don't like, it's rare. It's rare that I'll drink. I've had little alcoholic episodes. I was running nightclubs, man. You remember I did all these different things already. I was running nightclubs.
Well, we can't remember because you haven't told us.
Oh man, well if anybody knows, I'm pretty Googleable. I guess that's what they say. I don't really Google myself, but everybody else does.
So tell me, what are they reading when they do that search?
Oh, I've heard some of it. Some of it's some bullshit. Some of it's accurate.
But you worked in some nightclubs.
Yeah, I used to run some nightclubs. That's how I fell into the whole Bling ring situation. Or I fell into my lap. I fell into my lap. I was working in Hollywood.
Got you.
Yeah.
And this is
2000 and like 7, 8, 9. When I was doing that, I was doing pretty good actually. That whole Bling ring shit. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. That was some bullshit. Yeah.
So, if you can tell me one lesson that life has taught you, what would that be?
Life ain't fair. Life ain't fair. You better sack up and get what you can while you can, because this shit ain't gonna be there every day. And keep it righteous among your folks. Don't be a piece of shit. You know what it is. We all know what it is. Don't do it.